Folks, thanks for joining us today. My name's John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next hour or so, a little bit more on the or so side, on discussing the best year an agent can have with a Premier Marketing portfolio. Our intent today is to give you a glimpse into the different departments and the product that's associated with those departments, give you a bit of an overview so you can see how you can bundle in, as they say on American Pickers, an entire portfolio of products with our organization, utilizing the strengths that we bring, not only with the product and portfolio itself, but with the folks that are there to support you in those different areas. Today's presentation is being recorded, and it, along with material that we reference throughout the course of the presentation itself, will be sent to all who have raised their hand in interest to today's presentation. You'll also note that in the software package, there is a section for both questions and chat. It's our preference that you would use the questions section, put in the information there that you need answered. We find that in most cases, we cover most of the questions through the course of the presentation, but if we run across something that we haven't seen before or are not able to address immediately, we'll make certain that that goes out as part of the follow-up by email to all who have raised their hand in interest. You'll also note that there's a chat section. We don't really use it. We'll keep it open just in case and check it, but that is not what we use commonly in this circumstance. So as a bit of a level set, for those who may not be as familiar with Premier itself, a bit of an overview, a very slight overview. We are a national marketing organization founded in 1968. We're part of the Integrity marketing platform with offices across the country. We act as an insurance servicer wholesaler, working with independent agents such as yourself, offering contracts at the highest possible commission levels, with recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. And we do so through a full portfolio of insurance products. We're very strong in the Medicare area with the Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, and standalone Part D prescription drug programs. But the portfolio itself also includes life insurance and annuity products, final expense life insurance and pre-need plans, long and short-term care programs, disability income plans, and the ancillary benefits that complete coverage for most individuals in areas such as dental, vision, hearing, critical illness, cancer, and hospital indemnity programs. When we look at the Medicare market, because a lot of folks are very engaged in that space, we look at a population that is growing rapidly. You don't come on a program like today without someone speaking of the silver tsunami, the aging of the baby boomers, 1 every 10 seconds, 10,000 a day. Well, nice mathematics, but they don't all live in your area. And to be honest, just because someone hits 65 doesn't mean they're using their benefits right away. There are a number of people that continue to work after the age of 65, particularly some of us in the later boomer areas where 67 is full allocation of Social Security programs. So there are a number of people that are delaying accessing benefits. So that Medicare number based just on age isn't accurate. And then even though it's very varied, you'll see in this particular chart, 17% of the folks on Medicare are under the age of 65 and accessing their benefits because of disability. So they are one of the groups that contribute to the chronic conditions that are felt in this population. 2/3 of them have 3+. You also have a population that is somewhat handicapped, to use the term vaguely, when it comes to their money, where the median income is less than $26,000 now with later data than this, and they have some savings challenges. And that's why we feel it's so important that folks realize that if they work with the Medicare population or the general population in total, you have to have a diverse portfolio of product and carriers in order to address their needs. And that's why we attempt to do these types of presentations on a quarterly basis, because we want to make available to you programs that help people regardless of their choice that they make on their base medical. Because in the Medicare world, they don't have to do anything. They don't even have to take the Part B if they don't want it. Most do. Some will just add a drug program. Some will go into a standardized, modernized Medicare supplement. Some choose the Medicare Advantage Part C programs. In each of these areas, we want to make certain that we have coverage that can take care of them. And if we go beyond the Medicare population, which we do when we discuss a full portfolio of products, we see a very large audience that need our help across the board. Projected inhabitants in the United States in 2021, over 331 million people. It's a lot of people to talk to. It's a lot of prep on our part, and it's almost a requirement for us to be aware of the different programs that are available to us to present to our prospects and clients. So that's why we discuss the best year with a premier marketing portfolio. And we have a number of folks on today that are going to chat with you about different areas. And that's why today's program will run a little bit longer. Keep in mind, we want to be respectful of your time. It is being recorded. We will be sending out different pieces of it. But we've got subject matter experts in different areas today that will give you a glimpse of some of the programs that are available through our organization. And so Mr. Brad Lewis, Ms. Katie Novotny, Ms. Shay Treptow, and the inimitable Nate Dowd are with us today to talk about the different sections of our programs that are available to you. When we start out with Medicare, because, hey, I've got the steering wheel in my hand, I get a start. We look at the Medicare Advantage area. We have the national carriers in our portfolio for you to access, and many strong regional carriers, too, that can make a difference for you in your particular market. Part of what we deliver on this is expertise and support in these areas because we are a big gorilla in the Medicare arena. We have great contacts with the carriers across the board, and we use those connections to help our agents be as successful as possible. That predicates a discussion with a marketer to make certain that we have a plan together to make these programs move forward for you. And that same philosophy carries over into the PDP portfolio, the prescription drug plans, where those national carriers are there for you to use. And we see this in a concentration of agents who work with Medicare Advantage because certifications are much easier in that fashion. But we also see a lot of folks that work the Medicare supplement arena make use of those PDP plans as well. What we look to do then is make certain that all of that homework that you're doing in the Medicare Advantage and PDP world, because part of the contracting process is certification. Annual certifications are also required in that space. You got different regulations. We want to make certain that you have not only our backing for those programs and the carrier backing, but make available to you and make you aware of other assets that are there to help you sell in that space. And you see on the screen now the Medicare and You guide that is sent to every Medicare recipient every October. So it's a 60-some million plus copies of this go out, some in actual pamphlet form, some electronically. But this is a great guide that helps us make people aware of what they have now and the gaps in their coverage. So they can do this electronically, as I mentioned. They can also have an app on their smartphone if they have that technology where they can go on and determine what exactly is covered by Medicare. So a lot of this information as a third-party reference gives us the opportunity to help them understand their coverages and what they have and what they don't. We even have an acronym guide that we send as part of the follow-up to you because I've been doing this since, 1985 in one fashion or another. More gray in my beard now than I care to admit. But there are always different pieces that come into play that I don't care how long you've been in this segment. It's a ongoing process to stay up to date, and having a translator like this little guide we'll send you the link to is very, very helpful. When we look at the Medicare and You guide, it lays out a number of different areas that aren't covered, and that gives us a natural entree into discussing other products. And for all of the folks that are on the phone today, well, for some of us, that works on a singular scope of appointment. Some may require a bit of a questionnaire and then utilizing the 48-hour cool-off period if your entree into the house was with Medicare Advantage or PDP programs. If it's with MedSup or any of the other programs, that's not the case. but this is still a nice guide for us to walk into other discussions about other products as we address the primary question that is the purpose of our meeting with our prospects and clients. So you see a number of different things that come into play, and the programs that we offer can help address them. I mentioned the scope of appointment. That is a necessary prerequisite when you speak to Medicare Advantage and PDP programs. And one of the reasons we suggest using this in a generic form, which, by the way, our electronic systems we'll discuss later does just that as well, but it gives you some of the other topics that you can speak to during that initial appointment. So it gives us the opportunity to speak to not only the base medical coverages, the base prescription coverages, but a means to introduce some of the ancillary products that are common needs for the Medicare population, such as dental, vision, hearing, and hospital indemnity. We can do those because they're considered health products, and it gives us the opportunity to discuss them in a singular appointment. One of the tools that we have available as part of our Medicare Center as well is the CSG actuarial tool, which, by the way, if you didn't see the announcement yesterday, check your email. CSG actuarial is now part of the Integrity family. But that tool gives us the opportunity to lay out and prepare for our appointments in the base medical space covered by MedSups and Medicare Advantage plans and PDP programs. But it gives us then different quoting tools for additional product. And if that's the circumstance that you have and you're doing either a virtual appointment with Zoom or whatever, Flip or Join Me, whatever the multiple programs that are out there, or if you're doing it face-to-face, you can share your screen and walk through this process with your prospects and clients, and it really lays things out and gives them a better understanding of what's going on. These tools also give you the opportunity to offer a complimentary Medicare supplement review and use that same tool to clearly emphasize the programs that are competitive in your particular market. So it makes certain that you have the carrier support that you need in that area as well. This is an example of how that shows when you go into a home. So even if the home has medical coverage that the folks are happy with and are not going to change from, it gives you the opportunity to fill in the gaps with hospital indemnity programs for those daily co-payments or visit or stay co-pays that you have with many of the Medicare Advantage plans. We also give an opportunity then to ask additional questions. So a simple fact finder is a great way of gathering other information that we can use to prepare for follow-up meetings with our prospects and clients if we sell them or not on the base program. The whole intent of any of these programs is to not only give the folks the coverage that they need in all areas, but also give us the opportunity to go beyond that initial question and make certain that we're doing a professional job in filling in the needs. Because whatever you do on any appointment, you can always use that Columbo close, where you packed up your bag, you're headed to the door, and it's like, oh, by the way, one more thing. Who is going to cover any stay you might have in a nursing home? Or some other clever one-line question that Peter Falk was great at delivering, but it gives us then the opportunity to plant that seed for the additional meetings. When we talk about the Medicare supplement space, we've got a plethora of plans there for you to use. It gives you the opportunity to not only sell based on price, but also an explanation of the different plan types and the different carriers that are available for you in your market. So once again, going back to the Medicare and You guide, it gives us that third-party reference to make certain that we can then discuss additional programs, much as what we did with the Medicare Advantage plan. Any type of Medicare appointment, I strongly recommend collecting that scope of appointment, because many times, even if you're discussing Medicare supplements, they want to talk about their medications, and this is necessary for that discussion. It also, once again, slides into the whole reinforcement for talking about additional product. And you have carriers out there that are very innovative in doing some of that same thing. So if you've got an appointment set up for one particular carrier, they probably have a quote and enroll system as well. It gives you, again, the opportunity to discuss different programs in their portfolio that you're presenting. This particular example is of Aetna, but most of the major carriers have something very similar. So it gives you the opportunity, once again, to use a recognized name. Gee, this is Cigna Air, it's not Aetna. The green fooled me. It gives you the opportunity to speak to different products. The ancillary world, in each of those different categories, we got the national leaders in there for you too. So it gives you the opportunity to speak in different areas of interest. And dental, vision, hearing is a really simple way of laying out, hey, where's your coverage? Who do you see as a dentist? That sort of thing. You need an eye exam coming up? That sort of thing. It's a simple question. And we showed earlier how you can talk about using hospital indemnity programs to fill the holes in a MA product. We have to realize as well that if someone goes into a hospital and they're covered by med subs, there's a ton of non-medical expenses that are associated with hospital stays. The need for a HIP plan is still there for you, and that rolls over into critical illness, cancer, heart attack, stroke plans, things of that nature as well. We are also rolling out MD Live, which is a telehealth option for you that speaks just to that, particularly pertinent in today's environment with the joys of the pandemic we're all experiencing. Once again, that page 49 in the Medicare and You book lays out the need for these additional programs. And when you go into the ancillary products, obviously, it lays out the whole need for dentures, hearing aids, and the vision piece of it that aren't covered by regular Medicare. And in many circumstances, if you have help on a med sup, it is a discount program. If you have that benefit in Medicare Advantage plans, in many cases, the benefit isn't strong enough to completely cover the need in that area. So you have a ton of different things that can help you speak to it. And once again, using that tool, the CSG tool within Medicare Center, allows you to do the cross-selling piece with fill in the holes with hospital indemnity. One of the things that will come to you as part of the follow-up, because I'm already talking too much and I need to speed up, is we have a pre-recorded portion of how to use this tool for this particular piece, and that link will come to you as part of the follow-up. Finally, we see in the Medicare and You booklet the fact that long-term care is not addressed by Medicare. It is one of the proposed topics under the new administration. When and if that happens, well, don't hold your breath, because the system's overtaxed as it is. But we have a great portfolio of long-term care products. And that's where we asked Ms. Katie Novotny to come in and give us an idea in this area of the portfolio that's available through our organization and some of the things that you can get when it comes to support in this area. So, Katie, would you give us a little chat as to product and where you would suggest a person start in this area?
Sure. Thanks, John. Regarding the long-term care department, we actually have a lot of different options. And I guess if we just look at the screen, we can kind of go down the way. Traditional long-term care has been around for 40, 50 years as a strong insurance product, and we've seen a lot of changes. We see a lot of carriers that are now gone and have left the industry, but we still have some solid players within there. I think that the one big thing is we've seen so many changes. There's a lot of angst when it comes to traditional long-term care, but I don't think that there should be. I think if anything, we've learned from 2020, and you look for the silver lining of things, but truly people are concerned about their future and people really want to stay home. So what we're experiencing on that side is a lot of inquiries of full home care provided, and which can be provided by all three of these products actually out there listed. But first and foremost, your clients are going to ask questions about being able to stay out of a nursing home. And I think that that's where we would talk about that first product. The second product is going to have traditional long-term care feel, providing for nursing home, assisted living, Alzheimer's units, home care. However, it is going to be on a life or annuity chassis. That being said, we can do single premiums, 1035, rollover, use qualified and non-qualified funds. With this, this is really sold for two reasons. One, there can be no rate increases on it because it is filed as life or annuity product. Second reason people love this product is this overcomes all objections. When people say, I don't want to pay all this money for long-term care planning, what if I pass away and never use it? Well, this is really the reason why these products came out. These will pay a death benefit or have some kind of benefit for your heirs. We also can do this on a second to die chassis, in which we can unify not only your life insurance, but we can also put it then on a joint long-term care. So there's a lot of different options. When it comes to the hybrid, you'll see that there's quite a few carriers that we have, and a lot of them have multiple solutions within their own portfolio. Lastly is short-term care. Short-term care is the youngest long-term care solution out there. It's been around for about 13, 14 years now. There are older products than that, but I would say the popularity really took off about 12, 13 years ago. And that being said, the exciting thing about it is we have a lot of players in the industry. We have a lot of fluctuation when it comes to underwriting and also premium thresholds. Truly, your audience on this is going to be the over 65 market, maybe somebody with a really tight strings on their budget, or lastly, if you just have someone that has quite a health history. So this will allow you to go back to your LTC clients from the past and say, while I didn't have anything there, now we may have a solution. So with all of these, we see an immense amount of interest and popularity. It's just truly knowing where to flex. And I would tell anyone to please feel free to pick up the phone. We in our department are here to be able to flex for you. You can give us the information, we can run the illustrations, we can design the cases, we can even give you ideas of going out and presenting each solution. So more than anything, I would just welcome a phone call of allowing us to help you provide long-term care to your clients on whatever spectrum they may be asking.
Awesome, Katie. Before we go to the next slide, and I neglected to ask this or address it during my ramblings earlier, in the Medicare Advantage and PDP space, we have to do the annual certifications. We don't in the Medicare supplement world or with the ancillary products that we offer. Are there special licensing or different requirements that an agent has to fulfill in order to offer long-term care?
Sure. For the most part, most people will have their life and health license. If it's only health, we can still work with that. However, the majority of our states will require you to take an 8-hour partnership training course. I will tell you that we have some tools that can assist on this. We will look at the state in which you reside, and we will let you know. A lot of people have taken the 8 hours in the past, and we'll look that up for you. We'll help you find that, and then we'll also allow you to, and I say that as if we can, and that depends on the state, and truly, then it comes down to your refresher course. We're going to work with you and make sure you're ready to go. The last thing that we want to see you do is sell a long-term care case and not be able to submit the application. So really, we'll dive in that with you. We do have one state, North Carolina, that will require an actual long-term care license. So there are nuances for wherever you may live. So please feel free to let us know. This is you're new to long-term care, and we can easily walk you through what needs to be done in order to alleviate having to go out to the client twice.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. So the Medicare and You guide lays out very strongly here the fact that long-term care is not covered by original Medicare. So the resources that Katie and her team brings to bear in this is very important. This is a piece Katie sent to us that gives us a sample of carrier support. Could you give us a little idea on how some of this works, Katie?
Sure. This is a screenshot of actual Mutual of Omaha software. What we like about this, and we have this for most of our carriers, is this can become interactive. We see 3 reasons why people love this product, and not just Mutual of Omaha, but LTC and this type of solution. When we look at this, we are going to provide you with the tools in order to quote. Most people go out there and they're going to see all these things that they've never seen before. Having this downloaded on your computer and having access to this will allow you to play with it. You're going to go out and you're going to manipulate those numbers to make premium thresholds. Maybe you're going to go out and you're going to look at the top of the screen where there's guides. You're going to see underwriting guide and product guides as well. While this is Mutual of Omaha, like I said, we have this for all of our carriers on some form. It will allow you to learn, and it will also allow you to come back to us with specific questions. We can walk you through this, but I think there's no better way to learn than a hands-on opportunity. And these are the type of tools that we have to provide all of our agents here at Premier.
Awesome. This is another tool that your department provides as well, just a snapshot?
It is. That is the top portion of our pre-qualification form. As I had said, we are happy to do case design and help you really customize a piece for your client. And that being said, all of these products are underwritten, some more than others, but we always like to know up front. We are asking people to get a hold of us. We'll walk you through. I get so many a day, and I can't even tell you how many emails I will see throughout even the week of, hey, Katie, regarding this client, XYZ medications, and we will help you shop the case. We'll reach out to an underwriter at a carrier if we need be, but what we are trying to do is make your business foolproof on the first step and not the backside of it.
Awesome. It's a similar process we see with many of the Medicare supplement programs where one carrier will accept a medical condition or view it a little bit differently than some of the others. And that would be my guess as to why we want to collect this in the long-term care arena as well.
Most definitely.
So, Katie, thank you. Let's now chat about some of the life insurance programs that we have and ask Mr. Brad Lewis to give us a little bit of direction when it comes to this robust portfolio that, hey, this is only one section here. We got a number of slides yet to go. So, Brad, can you tell us a little bit about the life department and some of the possibilities there are when we look at these different programs?
Absolutely, John. Thanks for having me on the call today. I appreciate it. And I look forward to sharing a little bit about life insurance and kind of how we work here at Premier. You're going to find some very similar qualities that we have that the long-term care department works as far as how they work from an underwriting perspective and how we like to get the information up front. Is life insurance as on this stage is a underwritten product. So different than final expense. That's probably one of the biggest things I like to get across to folks is that there's really two types of life insurance that we work with here at Premier. One is final expense, which Nate is going to talk to here in a few moments. And then there's the fully underwritten side of the business, which really applies a lot to clients that are under age 65. So it's more adapt to the clients that are a little bit younger, although we do use over age 65 for some planning, estate planning processes, things of that nature. But primarily we see a lot of cases under age 65 for the underwritten life. And I think as we discuss it, you'll kind of see why. So we do have various different types of the life insurance products that we offer here at Premier. And as you can see, we have quite a few different carriers that we work with as well. So single premium life insurance is really a great opportunity for clients that are working in the senior market. So if I was to carve one out that would say that would fit perfect in the senior market, that would be the one. And the reason why is because there's a lot of clients out there that have money set aside to pass on to their beneficiaries, and single pay life insurance really fits that niche. So we can actually enhance the value of, let's say, a bank CD or a money market account or maybe another asset that they already have set aside and grow that instantly by putting into a single premium life insurance policy. And almost all the products that fit into that category are work on more of a simplified issue basis. In other words, it would be a little bit more similar to easy underwriting. They're still going to ask some medical questions, but they're a little bit more open from an underwriting standpoint. So an example of that would be like taking a client that's like 65 years old, putting $50,000 into that policy and instantly providing a death benefit that would be somewhere between $85,000 and $95,000, depending on the carrier of death benefit. And that really enhances the estate for the insured to pass on to the beneficiaries. Just kind of going through the list you have here, John, I see term life is up next. And term life is, it is what it is, right? So you're renting the house rather than buying it. So basically, we're having a series of products that are offered anywhere from 10 to 30 years in coverage. And the thing I like about the term life and what has changed in that environment, especially through COVID, is a lot of the carriers are becoming more flexible with their underwriting. And what I mean by that is they've all have worked really hard to enhance their underwriting process to be less invasive into the client. So they allow the clients to take coverage without doing paramed exams in some cases, not in all cases, but in some cases. So that's very nice as well. And we have a large selection of carriers that we work with to help with that. You want to go to the next slide, John? And then when we look into the index products, guaranteed universal life, that market's actually shrinking just because of the way the pricing of the product's going. So guaranteed universal life is a permanent product that has guaranteed death benefit as well as guaranteed premiums for the life of the contract or for a period of years. So you could take someone out through, let's say, age 90, or you could go all the way out to age 121. And then indexed universal life, we use that product for a lot of other features and benefits as well, because that has a lot of other options as far as how the contract cash value grows. And we can get into that when we talk to people on an individual basis, but really the index universal life is an exploding marketplace for clients all the way from younger clients to people that, those that are nearing retirement as well. And then the next page that you have there, John, is talks about first to die, second to die, and whole life policies. First to die really means that just what it says there is if the client the first, it's a survivorship policy. So a husband and wife, for example, would be on a policy together, and at the death of the first insured, the benefit pays out. Second to die is the opposite of that. At the death of the second insured, the benefit pays out. And then we have a whole lot of whole life carriers there as well that are the old traditional type of life insurance, and they work very well for cash accumulation and guarantees as well. And then I wanted to talk about a little bit about dive into how to do business with Premier on the life side as well, because we do have quite a few resources out there. John's going to pull up a couple sheets here that talk about needs analysis and things like that. But before I go into those, I wanted to talk about the resources that are available on our website. So our website has quite a few resources behind the agent portal. It does require a login for that. But behind the agent portal, when you're contracted with Premier with a life carrier, what you're going to find is you're going to find a quoting tool. You're going to find a risk analysis tool. So in other words, a little bit about underwriting and how to write the case. And then more importantly, you're going to find all the forms and the e-application. So on our life team, we have Kathy, Kelly, and Melissa that all work over in that area. And really their job is to help you navigate through the life part of the business. And one of the ways we do that is by finding out more about the client. Much like what Katie said, we really want to understand a lot about the client, what their needs are, and then also how their health is and how the product will fit in relationship to their health. Because we want to do the same thing. We want to try to get it right the first time, where we give you the best chance of issuing the policy, not only submitting the policy, but getting the policy issued at the first submission rather than trial and error. So it's really, really important to communicate with Kathy and her team on what is needed in the life insurance part. We like to say that life is open 24/7 at Premier. And what that means is that website that I referred to with the quoting tool and the forms, they're there 24/7, 365. So it's always out there for you to access. So agents can run their own quotes on there for mostly term products. There are some UL and IUL products on there as well, but mostly it's a term search engine that allows you to run a quote for your client at any time, any hour, any holiday, whenever you would like. So it really works really, really nice. And then you also have the ability to access all the forms you need to write the business as well. The life insurance needs calculator, that's just a tool to assess, what does the client need? So that's one of the biggest things people ask is, how much life insurance does my client need? Well, everybody's a little bit different, and this tool helps you calculate that. So this gives us a starting point of what they need to cover their life insurance exposure. So we cover everything just like you would think of, from final expenses to emergency funds to anything else that you would like to do. And along the way, maybe it's household expenses, paying off your house, providing an income for your family down the road. So this life insurance needs calculator is just one of the tools that we have that make it easy to assess the needs of the client and what they have and what they're looking for. And then the next one is a Life Quick quote request form. So the team has these built out for you. What this does is it gives us a lot of general information. So think of it as a place to start from. So it's really a quick and easy way for you to share with us the story about the client so we can run the most accurate quote possible and find the best product solution for that client based on their wants, needs, desires, and also, more importantly, their health and their ability to pay premiums, because that's obviously a big part of it as well, right? We got to make sure that they can afford what they're purchasing so they can keep the promises that they're making by purchasing the product. And then the next page is the life underwriting tool, probably one of the more important parts of what we do. All clients are not created equal. They all have some sort of medical issues out there. And if you talk to somebody that has a lot of medical issues, most of them say, hey, I'm just fine. I'm doing great. Doing great in their mind and doing great in the life underwriting world or arena, or according to what we consider as someone in good health, can be completely different. They may have been doing great for a long period of time, but they may be living with a heart condition or maybe recovering from a disease perhaps. And we really need to dive in and understand from an underwriting standpoint what they really look like and what product they're going to qualify for and how that affects their rates. So any help on the front end, I always try to stress this with any new agent that I talk to, as much information as we can get in the beginning, we provide a better product in the end and a better expectation from your client, because we don't want to have you taking out an illustration to a client that promises a low rate or a high coverage amount if they don't qualify for that, because it's always more difficult to go back and tell Mr. and Mrs. Smith that their premium doubled than it is to come back and say, hey, this is the rate I found for you, and it works really well for your situation, and you can afford it, and it covers everything that you asked it to cover. So, John, I'm not sure what's next there on the slides there. So, yeah, that's all I have for the life side. We're looking.
Yep. We transition into final expense, and I want to thank you for that, Brad, too, because a lot of the challenges agents have periodically is overthinking things. I remember back in the mid-'80s when I was a Prudential agent, we asked what type of policy is best for the client. And obviously there are nuances with the different types, but I remember our local manager saying it's the one that's enforced when a person needs it. So you have a ton of different possibilities there, great support on the back end, and making certain that we fulfill the promises that we have with you as an agent, and also in essence to your prospects and clients as well. So thank you for that, Brad. And that material will also be part of the follow-up that we send. So at this point in time, we're going to ask the inimitable Nate Dowd to come in and give us a little bit of ideas on some of the products and processes that are in play in the final expense arena. Some of this we're going to go through pretty quickly, but some of it requires Nate's expertise. So Nate?
Hey, John, thanks a lot for having me today. You know, final expense is my bread and butter, so I'm really excited about the different parts that we do have available for our brokers. And what we do is we really strategize these into three different buckets, if you will. We talk about a simplified issued final expense, and we have, as you can see here, we have quite a few different carriers that we're working with. And with simplified issued, you got to remember that there's no blood, there's no urine. These are simplified issued products, so we're able to get these policies issued quickly, you know, with instant decision underwriting, up to 48 to 72 hours on these types of policies. So the quickness of a simplified issued product is going to be very, very important for these type of clients. Issue ages are generally 0 to 85, just depending on the carrier. So we can handle those younger clients all the way up into those 80-plus-year-olds. But our wheelhouse for our agents right now is that 65-year-old client, which a lot of you are probably working with right now in the Medicare space. Then we transition over to our guarantee issue, and that's going to be more of the lines of your people that can't qualify for, your traditional life insurance that Brad was talking about, or they can't qualify for the simplified issued. They're going to qualify what's called our guarantee issue. And that, generally speaking, is a return of premium plus some type of a percentage. So the carriers that you have right here, John, those are all return of premium plus 10% for the first 2 years. And then going into our third year, it's a full death benefit. Now, ages on those are 40 to 90 on those carriers, and that's going to be specific to different carriers, obviously. But then our third bucket that we go into is our irrevocable burial trust. And this is really for people that have funds set aside that are earmarked for their final expenses. They have $10,000 in a CD, they have $10,000 in a savings account, and that they can pre-fund their death benefits without having to go down to a funeral home. So that's really what we have as far as those three different ways. And we can jump more into that here, John, if you go to the next slide here. This is really just highlighting the simplified issue, the single premium, and then the guarantee issue. But what we do is we have a couple different marketing tools that we will have available to our agents. And most recently, right now, we're in our postseason. So our postseason is built more for our Medicare agents. And really what this is tailored to is going back to our existing clients and talking to them about the keys of final expense. You know, if you were to pass away today, how would your family pay for that funeral? You know, do you want to leave that financial burden on our family? These are just different tools that we can use, and it's in our postseason of scripting and how do we do that? You know, because your Medicare clients are the exact same people that need coverage for final expense. And it really is, John, one of the final pieces of the puzzle here. 78% of shoppers with a previous relationship with their agent bought life insurance when their agent presented it to them. I can't express how important it is for our brokers that are doing Medicare sales that are talking to their clients about final expense. It's the same type of clientele that we're working with. So what we can do is we can take the time here to, I kind of lost you here where we're at. If they're 65 year older, these guys are going to be in our wheelhouse that we're doing. Do they have kids? Do they have grandkids? Who are they going to leave this financial burden on? And do they seem to leave people with a like-minded plan ahead? You know, what we want to do is we want to make sure that they're taken care of on their final days, that they don't leave that financial burden on their family. And that's really what we do with our Legacy Safeguard service. And that's what stands us apart from really the competition here. And that's our Legacy Safeguard. So we have a couple different things that Legacy Safeguard offers, whether it's their legacy planning services. This is where the family is able to go in and they're able to say what they want done on that day. You know, if John, if I were to pass away today, I'm going to be wearing my Nebraska polo, right? That's what I want to be wearing. So I'm able to say that. I'm able also to go all the way down on a granular level and say what types of foods my dog eats. So they really take that next step in planning for that final expense. So when the good Lord does call you home, you have everything already planned for with that service. And that really carries over into the end-of-life planning guidance and assistance with that. Kind of hit it too fast real quick, John. Go back one real quick.
There?
Thank you. Yep, right there. Thanks. So support for the survivors. This is really what we can take advantage of with our bereavement travel, any of those type of services that we do have available for our brokers. They can have access to that. And assisting them on the time of need so that they can focus on, you know, grieving for their losses. They have someone to step in and assist them. And really that last part, they'll celebrating life events. John, I don't know about you, but one of the things I do hear with the brokers that I'm talking to is when they attend a funeral, you know, you have to buy those CDs, remembrance CDs about people's lives and the legacy that they're leaving behind. And they're costing anywhere from $50 to $100 for these CDs. Legacy Safeguard actually does that for you. So you're able to submit photos of your loved ones, and they'll put that to songs, and that's a free service that you as a producer, you could offer that to your clients free of charge. And really,
I'm going to throw this at you, Nate. It's kind of a neat little thing, and I'm sorry I interrupted you. But you look at some of these different categories, the celebrating life. I went to a celebrating life, not a funeral type of presentation for a friend's mother. It was interesting because her stepsister included pictures of her family and excluded the rest. So it's the silly little things like that a person's able then to direct what is actually done after, as you said, the Lord calls you home. So I'll shut up now. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. So what we did is we really branded that all together for you, and we have comprehensive marketing guides. Really, that's what we're trying to do is make this as easy as possible for you. With our comprehensive marketing guide, it's going to have our scripts in it. It's going to be talking high level about what final expense is, how it works, and then different phrases that you can say. And before COVID kind of hit, what we were talking about is agents are on the road a lot. They have a lot of windshield time. So what we did is we put that actually in an audio CD as well, so that when you're traveling down the road, you can actually listen to that marketing guide that we have here. So it's just another tool that we have. I don't know how much windshield time we have right now with the current situation, but that is a different tool for us. Next, please.
Oh, and I think we've whipped through it.
There we go. Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you, Nate.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
You betcha. Thank you. And I apologize for the unintended interruption. It just popped in my head when we went through the celebration of life pieces that come through. We have a very large portfolio of annuity products as well, and that's where we ask our subject matter expert in that area to come in and give us some help. So, Ms. Shea Triptow, would you give us an idea of how some of the different products and carriers are players in your market?
Yes, thank you, John, for having me today. As you can see, we have a number of different annuity carriers that we work with. And everybody always wants the top 2 or 3, but as a lot of people have said today on this call, is everyone is different, everyone's situation is different. So the top 2 or 3 carriers for one agent and client could be completely different for yours. We have a wide range of the MIGAs, a multi-year guarantee annuity. We can do those anywhere from a 2-year to a 10-year period. We have indexed annuities anywhere from a 5-year surrender period up to a 16-year period on both the accumulation side to just let it grow and leave to your beneficiaries, or if you're needing an income that you cannot outlive. We have a lot of those, and we still have the single premium immediate annuities, or known as the SPIAs, and a wide variety of choices for them. One of the most exciting things that we have in the annuity world right now here is that we have introduced our Annuity Resource Center as of last June. The Annuity Resource Center is an endless opportunity of education for all of the agents. It's a wonderful source for someone brand new wanting to diverse in the industry and just add a little bit of extra income, but it also serves as an excellent refresher course for our seasoned agents who have been doing this for years and years. There is a financial inventory worksheet that agents can download to try to get their clients' full story. So it's very beneficial to have that completed before you reach out to us here at Premier. So that way we can tell you, this one may work or this one might work better. It also helps us understand if maybe not only annuities, but some other insurance could come into play for this client to help you cross-sell. Also on the Annuity Resource Center, there are training videos, and I think that's probably our biggest success with the Annuity Resource is I think there's over 20-some videos, and we're constantly adding new videos, and they range anywhere from just a couple minutes up to like 30 minutes. They even do an in-home presentation, how to present, creating the perfect annuity account. So there's just lots and lots of videos out there. And then there was another sheet there, John, if you want to go. It's a customizable brochure that you can actually go out on there and order for yourself to have in your office or your briefcase. They print out really, really nice. They can be customized there on that front part there where it says the circle logo. We can have it added all of your name and your picture. So there's just a lot of opportunities out there. Anything that you guys need, definitely feel free to reach out to us, and we are more than happy to help you guys with any questions and what products may be best.
Awesome. I finally figured out where we had the training video slide here, Shea. I apologize. I was going backwards.
No, that is perfectly fine. Thank you.
The nice thing about this center is it's like what Brad said about the life department, open 24/7. So we can school ourselves with the use of these training videos when it fits our schedule. And I think that's a great piece. And much like today when we finish up, where we are going to dissect today's presentation into different categories, it gives you the opportunity to go to the top of the mountain, to the guru there, and learn about the different pieces that come into play. And so it's nice to see those resources available all the time. Can you give us a little bit of idea of what marketing boosts do?
That is going to allow you to send out to your database of clients. So there's different things out there that you can personalize and send out on behalf of your own marketing campaign.
Awesome. So these are the personalized pieces that differentiate you and your agency from the rest of the people out there, and gives you the opportunity to chat with folks then. Awesome. Great.
Yep.
Great examples of different pieces. We see also an opportunity here in the hub to perhaps come up with some different lead ideas as well.
Yep, absolutely. And we're constantly adding new information out there. So just because you visit it today, don't hesitate here next month to go back out and do it. It's definitely a huge refresher course, and we're continuously adding to that library. That's why it's like a never-ending education source. And you said it best, John. It's truly at your convenience. I advise agents in the evening after the kids go down and you're just looking for some downtime, we're always grabbing our iPads or our phones or whatever. Just check it out, because there's constantly new things being added. And in our annuity world, there's always things changing. We're going to try to keep all of that up to date, so you guys are up to date. It's just an endless resource.
Awesome. And it also makes a really nice entree into the next section of our presentations, where we speak to what is that additional support that you get from Premier, and why do you want to offer all these different programs through our organization. And I think some of the simplest things is how we start, and that is the availability of using the SuranceBase software to create an agent profile and contract electronically with multiple products. Now, in many circumstances, this may speed up the process because it gives you the ability to make certain that your E&O information is in there, that you've answered the questions that are commonly asked on different contracts, and you don't miss things. So much as where we see a great trend in the industry of going to e-apps in order to complete and submit business, part of the reason for that, honestly, outside of all the electronic advantages that it delivers, is that it eliminates one of the languages that we use when we write things, chickenese. At one point in time, as a regional with United Healthcare, I ran the DSNP, or the SNP for the central region. Over 70% of our applications were pended because we couldn't read the handwriting. We had to go back to the agent and get the other details. This eliminates that challenge in the contracting process, gets you started quickly. Electronic apps, obviously, even contracting apps, process much more quickly, rapidly than handing in paper, and we don't miss anything as well. Not all carriers will utilize this, but it's a great way for you to create and store your information and then pick up a carrier electronically by just clicking on that possibility. Great way of doing it. And in each of these areas, I honestly don't know of an insurance carrier now that doesn't require you to have errors and omissions coverage. We offer a discounted E&O policy program to qualified agents. What makes you a qualified agent? Well, you got a contract with us. It then enables you to own your E&O. So in certain areas of the insurance world, you'll get somebody will say, well, we'll just add you to our blanket policy. That's great for that product, but you have that exposure across the board in other areas. This is a really nice program because it also covers those areas that, like what Brad was mentioning, with some of the variable products that are harder to get E&O coverage. And this is very reasonably priced, discounted for our agents, and great coverage through 360-degree coverage pros. We also have a similar program in play to keep your license itself in effect through bundled continuing education courses with and through our association with WebCE. So we keep you up to date there. And we do also offer programs that help you with your own benefit package. Obviously, you can buy from any of the carriers that you represent. Some will even allow you to write your own application. Some don't, some do. But this is actually a program that allows you to pick up modified guarantee issue disability income programs, which is one of the areas that we didn't talk about today out of time constraints, but it gives you that opportunity to pick up that type of program where you're paid a commission on it as well. much as where today's presentation is being recorded, where we're talking about the general offerings of our organization, we do have a library of past presentations that go into carrier-specific programs, area-specific, so chatting about long-term care or life insurance in a general basis, but also different marketing programs that are self-generated that can be very, very valuable to us now, particularly with some of the limited access that we have to folks face-to-face. These translate very well into virtual presentations. And much as where Brad mentioned that life is open 24/7 in the annuity world, well, we all are. But this gives you the opportunity to go in and pull some of that information anytime that fits our schedule. We also obviously give you that electronic support. I don't know if it's that obvious, but in each of the areas, you have that electronic support that allows you to prepare for and conduct and submit business through tools that are made available to you through our organization without additional cost to you. A great way of rolling into the Medicare Center program that we rolled out this past fall, that in my section of the world, you have a program that's available with a singular logon that gives you access to 3 different quoting engines and a CRM that comes as part of this offering. Available without cost to contracted agents. It gives you then the ability to not only quote and do things on a compliant basis, but store that information in a CRM so you can use that information throughout the year to cross-sell. Go back to your folks, drive up your persistency in those different areas. Referencing once again the CSG piece of that gives you that opportunity to cross-sell with the different programs that we have. Now whoops, kind of lost my presentation there. What happened? There we go. Sorry, threw me off there for a minute. There are certain areas in the insurance world where, believe it or not, compensation is set by the government. That comes into play in the Medicare Advantage and PDP world. So those programs generally will offer some type of marketing support, but they don't add additional incentives like many of the other areas do. And sometimes that may play a factor if a program is really similar to another one as to, hey, what do we offer? So there is a section on our website that's dedicated to having all that information together for you. What programs may be your bell cow type of carrier, your initial offering, and how are they compensating you beyond just commissions and renewal. The incentives and trips can be a very big portion of it, and in many cases that helps you qualify for the additional incentive programs that we offer. Traditionally, that's been a cruise, but hey, the world's cruiseless right about now. And so last year's cruise campaign translated into cash. So there are great programs out there for you that go beyond just the support. It's your compensation that comes into play as well. And I wanted to revisit this very briefly in the fact that there are those innovative marketing programs, that marketing support in each of these areas that can really help you develop a well-rounded portfolio and come into play. We also want to make certain that we have an opportunity to put you in front of folks as well. Shay showed on one of her slides the fact that in the annuity world, there's an opportunity for lead flow there as well. But we do also offer a contact list for you. They're butted up against do not call from a number of sources. Prices will vary from a cost per lead to perhaps gratis, depending upon how you work with us. But in each of these different areas, it also gives you the opportunity to self-generate in community-based marketing programs, which right now, all of the folks that we deal with in the insurance world when it comes to contact with our target markets, well, we got to deliver upon those a presentation that is readily accessible and one that takes us down, in essence, a sales track, much as kind of like what we're doing today with you. And that includes making certain that the investment that you may have made in retail settings, such as Walmart or in other pharmacies with the different carriers, that give you the opportunity to serve that purpose year-round and also utilize that lead flow into other product that you have as part of your portfolio. And so we have different programs on how to approach faith-based organizations as a center of influence in your community, and those folks that actually deliver upon the care for the programs that we're selling to our prospects and clients. So we have a number of different presentations that are keyed up for you that you can do on a live basis or on a virtual basis. And let's be honest about it, in the provider world, I have a retinue of physicians that I access, sadly enough, but many of them I've never seen face to face. I have a neurologist that I've had probably 8 different appointments with. They've all been virtual. And so we have the providers training our population as to how they access that information throughout. And we see that that kind of carries over into our world with all the resources you have on 24/7 basis. There are different carriers that will generate prospects for you. This comes into some of the unique marketing programs by some of the different carriers, but also in the Medicare world, you will see that if you have an association, a symbiotic relationship with a carrier, they may have leads for you year round. We do offer internet leads and direct mail support as well, and it's important to realize not to put all our eggs in one basket because we want a diverse lead flow coming to us as well. But that direct mail program helps subsidize some of that cost. And when you look at direct mail, consider that kind of like what you do with an exercise program. I don't have one, so I'm a big old blob. In this particular instance, though, if you're looking at mail, if you do it consistently, it's like exercise. If you exercise just once every now and then, well, you feel the pain. You don't necessarily get a lot of the benefit. But if you do it consistently, that's where you see the real value come through. And that sort of mentality helps feed the subsidy for the cost of the direct mail programs. So it helps you in those circumstances. These are the qualifications in the health arena that can help you do direct mail consistently. We offer it through preferred lead vendors because we vet the information that comes out to make certain that you stay in compliance. But there are different programs in the final expense world, an additional type of campaign, and you actually have guides as to, well, how much do I send? When can I do it? And the Legacy Safeguard program helps with that as well. The final expense world has different preferred vendors. Many of them are saying there's a couple differences, but you can actually qualify for 2 different mail supports each month if you work both areas and do the production to help you qualify. There are folks out there, too, that are reluctant to put out that type of initial investment on a direct mail campaign that they actually control some of the detail that comes into it. So we have a couple of different vendors that will also deliver upon the returns off of direct mail. Why don't we do this all the time? Well, a direct mail campaign that you control, as soon as a response comes back in, you're notified. It's in the different CRMs that the lead vendors offer. When you do something on a response, that is not as fresh of a lead, but it enables you to talk to folks and do so appropriately based on the different categories. There's actually 8 aged leads out there that could be old as Methuselah and still need the product. So there are things that we want to make certain that are available to you, and that includes some of the different lead generators that are in different internet campaigns. We've got a great program for Facebook leads that deal with the final expense space and the Medicare space, particularly with Medicare supplements. So all this said and done, we've all talked a little more rapidly, and except for me, I just chat all the time, but we're not too far over the hour. We tell you all this because we want your business. We feel we have the capability and the product to earn that business as well. But at this point in time, if you're on this call, we're asking you for your business. And this is a great way for you to take these different categories, integrate them into your overall personal marketing plan, prepare for what you need to do, and move forward with it. I'm a big John Wayne fan, and there's the movie The Cowboys. You're burning daylight. Well, don't procrastinate. Get this into your systems. Calculate as to what is actually going to bring you value in your different areas of expertise. Expand your paradigm and look at some other areas that are natural corollaries with the products that you offer now, and it gives us an opportunity to chat. I'm going to look at questions really quick now. Someone had audio difficulty. Someone is speaking to GTL. Yeah, Guarantee Trust Life is one of our favorite partners in different pieces of the space that's out there. And so depending upon the category, Omer, there is, and pardon me if I mispronounced your name, that is a valued contract that we offer. In my space particularly, they offer med subs, they offer cancer products, they offer all kinds of neat programs out there, and that is definitely one of our favorite partners, and we actually have a webinar coming up with those guys in the very near future as well. Prosperity, strangely enough, in the Medicare supplement world, that's something that we've examined, and I would have to get back to you off the top of my head on that, because there are different programs that I need to make certain that we come to play with you. So, okay. Omar, I think you were asking about GTL for final expense. I'll get you some specific data. Actually ask Nate to help me with that to make certain that we deliver upon that question. Let's see. Okay, final expense for prosperity. I'll get with Nate and we'll circle back with that to make certain that we have the answer for you. So all that said and done, 6 minutes over, a lot of caffeine this morning, I guess, for some different things. Transfers, okay. Okay, so moving your contracts will vary upon, if you have one in place and you want to work with us for that carrier, that release process or some of the contracting processes, they vary quite a bit from carrier to carrier. We want to make certain that we deliver upon your specific situation there. So, all said and done, John needs another cup of coffee or slam another Coke here, but you can reach us all through our toll-free number at 1-800-365-8208. You know the people that are there. There's actually also a guide that can get you directly to the folks that you're working with in a particular area. If you're not involved in a particular area and you need more detail, I'd ask you to ask for some of the folks that helped us on today's presentation, and they'll direct you and give you that assistance that you need in order to make that a viable part of your program. So 1-800-365-8208. We also have the capability of delivering that information to you electronically, like we talk about on all the different sections, through our website at premiersmi.com, where you can access that 24/7. There are different forms on there that can help you receive the information that you need. All that said and done, one of the things that we really need to do is express our appreciation for you as our partner in the community. For those of you that have done business with us already, I thank you for that business. It's sincerely appreciated, and we realize that time is your most valuable asset. You've invested quite a bit with us here this afternoon already. I thank you for that as well, and for the future partnership that we'll have in the areas and where we're already doing business, but also in the opportunity we have to round out your portfolio, bring you additional revenue streams, and help you be a subject matter expert for you in your chosen markets in your community. That said and done, until we have the opportunity to speak with you again, watch for the follow-up that we'll send out with different links and detail that go into greater information for you in the different areas. And until that time, hey, we wish you good selling. Thanks so much for the Premier crew and helping here today. Thank you for coming on, and we'll talk to you very soon. Thanks so much.